When considering art in non-traditional spaces as the conversation tonight was about, I thought about myself and all the fellow artists here who aren't privileged enough to exhibit in, say, a nice museum or really clean gallery space. So I guess how does the young artist manage thinking about exhibitions? Do you make work for a particular venue, or do you make work knowing that it's going to go in a non-traditional venue? So I guess utilizing your skills to exhibit in various locations.
Me personally, non-traditional works a little bit more because I do a lot with ceramics and I like to showcase it non-traditionally because I work with porcelain that's unglazed, so that instead of a white room with white walls is boring.
So tonight was a great conversation with a bunch of very important, great people, and what I'm going to walk away with is a stronger feeling and sense of community and the members that are here all together. It was a great sense of teamwork and camaraderie that the room was full of relevant players in the field, and I feel like Grand Rapids and the art community is in good hands.
I think I'm going to continue to think about discussions that we had about audience and about how different spaces and different events create different audiences. And I think that was useful to hear people's perspectives, people that do different types of shows, that run different types of spaces, that are involved in very different types of work, to think about what techniques of marketing and programming translate across those different approaches and which ones don't. And I think that that's a discussion, like walking away from this, that I think could continue a lot and could be really valuable. Because I think that certain types of events and shows can have a really small audience and a really small reach, and that can be their ideal state, whereas other things sort of aspire to be larger, and if they don't draw that, then it's a failure. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was good to have different people kind of voicing their concerns about that or their thoughts about that. I was also interested in the conversation about the internet. I'm just always interested in the internet and what that's doing. I think that the conversation, and this is sort of went beyond just the talk of online, but I think was also sort of focused there, was the talk of branding. And I think that 5 or 10 years ago, this type of a group of people wouldn't have been so knowledgeable about branding and wouldn't have like bandied about the term branding with so much ease and with so much expertise. Like I was really impressed by what I was hearing by people who are just sort of independent practitioners and talking about the need to build a brand. On the one hand, that notion seems really corporate. I think partly because people my age and older are really suspicious of the idea of branding and think it's really corporate, but I think that people just a little younger than me and younger see it as it's just sort of this given that you create this version of yourself online in particular, and the way that translates to trying to get artwork out into the world is to create that personal brand and then spread it.
So I'm really interested in this idea of, I don't know why I never really thought about it before, but just the idea that there's a lot of people and communities doing the same things we're doing, and that I think a key to sort of finding success would be to network and collaborate with those similar communities.
What I value from tonight is it's exciting to be around people that I feel like I can learn from, being a young artist, and feeling like, at some point I think I can probably look back on this and say how cool it was to be able, in my young stages, be able to listen to people talk about trying to survive and be a creative person in the world.